In this video, I'll show you how to build a complete AI receptionist from scratch using tools like ElevenLabs and then integrating Google Calendar through Cal.com. By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand how to build this entire AI receptionist yourself. Take what I show you in this video and sell it anywhere from 1 to 2.5K or maybe even more. I also share with you all of the workflows, the prompts, and everything that I'm going to be using in the video. You can just quickly download that in the description and literally just copy paste it and start selling this to your clients.
I can help you schedule an appointment for a technician to take a look at your toilet leak. Could you please let me know your preferred time for today or tomorrow and your time zone?
I'm kind of free. Maybe check for tomorrow in the morning. I'm based in Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, I have 3 available time slots in the morning. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Which one would you prefer?
Man, I don't get up so early. But I think 8, I guess 8 works. 8 in the morning.
Great choice. Let's go ahead and book your appointment for 8 o'clock in the morning. Could you please provide your name, service address, and email address?
Yeah, so my name is Jun, Jun. Email is jun@quickstep.ai. So Quickstep is spelled as QWICKSTEP.ai. And my address is 123 Main Street.
Thank you, Jun. Just to confirm, your email is jun@quickstep.ai, and your address is 123 Main Street. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm booking your appointment for tomorrow at 8 a.m. Please hold on for a moment. Your appointment has been successfully booked for tomorrow at 8 a.m. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for choosing Clear Flow Plumbing. Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye. So we can see that it's added to my Google Calendar and received an email with the event. So this is a general plumbing service, date and time. Who is going? Obviously, this is just between myself and myself. So both of them are the same emails. We got the address as well, and then just a quick description. So before we actually start building out these voice agents, what I want to do is basically understand exactly what we're going to be building out. What are the different functions or workflows that we need to build to integrate it with, any automations to run, maybe like appointment confirmations, any SMS automations, email automations, everything that we need to understand that this agent should be able to do. We want to try to map that and scope that out before we actually start building. So I have a test example company here, which is a plumbing company. And obviously the objective is to implement an AI voice agent, handle all inbound calls, book plumbing service appointments. So it's mostly an appointment booking voice agent, right? Obviously we also can put in things like it's able to answer all general FAQs. It should have a knowledge base on this company specifically. So any questions about this company, opening times and stuff like that, it should be able to answer those questions as well. So the main appointment that we want to try to book in is just like a general plumbing service call, which comprises of these common requests that most people should have. And some of the agent responsibilities, again, answer all inbound calls, identify the plumbing issue. What we want to be able to collect things like the name, phone number, and service address. Offer available time slots, so we want to check availability in the Google Calendar, which we're going to use through Cal.com, and then obviously book the appointments in. And then once that's done, we'll send like confirmation emails where they could look at their appointment details, reschedule if they need to, cancel if they need to, any extra information that we want to send to the client if they need information on the service call, and then obviously transfer the call when the user needs more complex tasks. So just a great idea. I think this is a very simple way to kind of map it up. We can try to scope this out very quickly. I don't think this is going to be anything too crazy. It's probably going to be quite simple actually. So let's try to do this. Basically, this is, let's say we get an inbound call. I can't type, bro. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is identify all of the different intents that they have, right? So this would be determining the intent of the call. And what I mean by intent is what are the different functions, or rather pathways, that the voice agent can handle. So one could be appointment booking, one could be answer generating FAQs, one could be rescheduling. So that's like 3 different intents, right? So we want to understand how many intents exactly can this voice agent handle. Since this is a very simple voice agent, it's nothing too crazy. So obviously this is the first one, where it which is probably the most important one, appointment booking, right? And we could also have one that's like answer any general FAQs, answer FAQs. Oh, put that there. And then we could also have one where maybe this one could be like call transfers. So anything that's a bit too complex for the agent, or like out of scope questions, we could do a call transfer. Transfer to a call, right? Appointment booking, that's done. And then answer FAQs, this would be search knowledge base, right? And then appointment booking, we could be able to use things like understanding what is the customer's time zone. So determining time zone, collect name, email, address, things like that. And then we also want to be able to check calendar availability and then book appointment on its own. That's mostly it for appointment booking. Then once that's done, it all ends the call, and then it can go loops back here and then see if there's anything else. Since this is relatively simple, I don't want to go too in depth into this entire scoping process. Obviously, this appointment booking bit could be a bit more detailed, but if you want to learn how to scope that out, I have another separate video where I explain how to scope out this entire thing, so you could see in more detail and in a more technical detail on how exactly which step is taken when you build these agents and what is the step-by-step process. So check that out if you want to, but in this video, I'm just going to quickly go through this. So yeah, that's basically it, right? A very simple agent, but a lot of companies don't even have something like this because they can't find someone who's able to build these out, something like that for them. So let's try to build this up very quickly so that you can just take this and sell it to clients and can basically implement it as soon as possible. So before we actually start, I have an entire prompt which I usually use. This prompt is also trained on the 11labs documentation. So if you look through this entire prompt, these are all of the best practices collected from the 11labs documentation itself. So if you look at 11labs agent prompting guide, what you'll see is they have an entire page where they explain one of the best practices for building out the prompt for your voice agent in 11labs, right? So you can go through this one by one. Obviously, it's a very long page, but I basically created this entire prompt that helps us out. So it summarizes everything about what's explained in this documentation. So you can just take this, copy paste it, and start using it, right? So I'm just going to quickly just copy paste this, go into a new chat. I'm going to start pasting this right there. So obviously this is not properly formatted, but it's fine. So now we have pasted that in. Basically what we need to do is provide information on what this agent's about, what it does, the use case, and etc., right? So we want to try to basically answer all of these questions as detailed as possible, and then it will generate the entire prompt, which you can just copy paste it as the first draft inside 11labs. So obviously we have the 11labs agent here, we have N8N, and then so let's just quickly understand this. I'm going to speak to it using Whisperflow because obviously that's a lot easier. But if you want to type it out, sure, go ahead. It's just going to take a lot more time. So this is an AI voice agent that's an inbound, that only takes in inbound calls. There's no outbound calls involved. The main use case is appointment scheduling, nothing else, mostly just appointment scheduling. So we're going to have tools like checking availability and then booking appointments. So that's the main use case. Obviously, we also want to be able to answer general FAQs and also transfer the call if there are any calls, any intents that the agent cannot handle. Target audience, these are mainly just the customers calling in. This is for a plumbing company. So we're in the home service niche. It's mostly for plumbing services, customers who have any issues with their homes and need some services, they will call in. Tools and integrations, we will be integrating with cal.com, but you don't need to mention cal.com inside the prompt. This is just for the backend stuff. So we'll be building up mainly two tools. There will be a check underscore availability tool, and there will be a book underscore appointment tool. For checking availability, we would need to determine the customer's time zone. And this would be the IANA format. So like America / Los underscore Angeles, for example. So we need to determine their time zone. We need to determine their preferred day and the preferred time. So 3 variables there. In terms of booking appointments, we would need these 3 information because we already collected it. And we also need their name. So we need their name, their address. So this is their house address. And we would need their email. So that's 6 variables there. So basically this information. And then, yeah, so you just run the check availability tool to get availability from the calendar system. You'll get back the response of all of the available slots and then just read out 3 available slots to the customer based on their preferred time. Read out only 3. And then once you confirm the actual slots that the customer wants, then use the book underscore appointment to book in the appointment itself. For transactions, there are no transactions that will be made on the call. This is in terms of payments. We will only be able to book appointments. That's basically it. Escalation rules. The only time the voice agent could transfer the call is when we ask a question that is completely out of the scope of the purpose of this voice agent. So obviously, if we want to ask about a billing question, maybe it's about a past service that we've had with the company. We want to ask for a refund and things like that. The agent's not able to handle, so we want to be able to transfer the call. So we're going to use a transfer call tool to transfer the call to the human agent to take over. Language, it should only speak in English. There is no compliance and data sensitivity involved. This is a very simple agent. Brand, voice, and tone, this is up to you. You can decide. Success criteria, if it's able to book in appointments, that's successful. But yeah, that's basically it. Don't think there's anything else. Let's see. Yeah, so if the customer asks any general questions, you would have access to a knowledge base which would contain all of this information from the company. So take all of those information and answer the questions as simple as possible. Keep responses short, 1 to 2 sentences maximum. Keep it to like 5th grade level English. Okay, so that's a very long description. So obviously we want to try to keep it as descriptive as possible so they know exactly what we're trying to build for, and then it could generate the entire prompt. So while it's generating, I'm going to go into ElevenLabs. We're going to create a new agent. So if you're going to the ElevenLabs agent platform, which you can find here, go under agents. What I'm going to call this is maybe, what's the name of this company? So Clear Flow Plumbing Co. Okay. AI receptionist. Okay, so start from blank. Don't know why it shows that there. Okay, I think this is fine. I think I've forgotten to include these things. So let me just put this. This is the name of the company. Yep. This is the name of the company. So that's done. So now you can see this is the interface. Very nice and sleek. I think ElevenLabs has been doing a lot of updates over the past 2 months, and I have the new workflows as well, so that's pretty cool. But we're going to stick with the system prompt here, just a single agent. I think that's fine. So first off, the large language model, what I'm going to do is I usually use GPT 4.1. I think that has been performing really, really well over the past few agents that I've deployed. So that's very consistent. I want to stick to consistency, so let's stick with that. Temperature, we want to leave it as low as possible so that it's obviously as deterministic as possible. We don't want it to be too creative and then obviously give a wrong answer if we don't want it to. It's going to start hallucinating and stuff. So we're going to keep the temperature at 0. See if there's anything here. Nope, that's fine. So obviously, again, in language English, that's fine. And then in terms of the voice, I'm not too stressed about this part. You can pick a random voice.
Every journey starts with a...
When we seek to discover the best in others, we somehow bring out the best.
The sea's waves are cradles for the dreaming mind. Now don't stress, hun bun.
Every journey starts with a single pedal stroke.
Okay. That's also fine. Similarity, and I'll just keep everything else as it is. So I think it should be able to be done. Okay, this should be done. So I want to quickly read through this and see how it created it. I think it's easier to see it here. So I'm just going to paste it here and just go through this. So you are a calm, reliable, friendly AI voice receptionist for clear flow plumbing. Just add some spaces. We will never rush in the caller. That's fine. Environment, inbound voice agent, live phone call, use backend tools to check availability, book appointment, answer questions. That's fine. Tone seems good to me. Your goal is to successfully book appointments, read the caller, determine the intent. Okay, so we got general FAQs, appointment scheduling, and out of scope. That's fine. If scheduling appointment, collect the preferred day and time. Determine the customer's time zone. Step important. Check availability. Ask the customer to choose one slot. The full name. I think this could be just name because we don't really need the full name. As long as it's like a nickname, it's fine. Service address, which is the home address. Email address. This step is important. Collect everything. Okay. Caller ask any questions. Keep everything short. Guardrails. Never book. Never guess availability. Never book. Okay, that's fine. Tools, check availability. We need time zone, preferred day, preferred time range. So required parameters are these. That's fine. We're just gonna keep this as day. I think this is a lot easier. Steps. Verify all tools, call tools, error handling, and there's a book appointment too. Select the time slot. Gonna keep this as address. Gonna keep this as name, email, and then this is date, and then this would be time. So we want 6 information here. So the first one is day, because basically the reason why for checking availability is day and time. For book appointment is date and time, right? Because day, the way the customers would reply would be, maybe they could say things like, I wanted to try book for tomorrow, check availability for tomorrow. So we want to pass tomorrow in, and because we don't know the date for that exactly, right? So we want to pass the actual string value of tomorrow, and then in our backend workflow we'll have everything sorted out, and then we'll determine the date based on that. So yeah, although we can actually set this in the agent itself to be able to determine that, but a lot of the times when I try this, success rate is a lot better if we just handle everything backend. So we just usually handle everything in Anyden, so that's a lot easier. So book appointments, that's fine. Call the tool, wait for success confirmation. Error handling, booking fails. Okay, and then transfer call, when to use, out of scope. Okay, that's fine. Steps, error handling. I think everything else seems fine. So we should be good to go with this prompt. Obviously, when you want to build this out for production level, you want to basically read through this as detailed as possible so you understand exactly what's been written. So yeah. Okay, I think that seems fine. We just need a first message now. So let's try to create a quick first message. Write a quick first message every time the agent answers the call. Keep it short. So we got that. Let's put that there. Okay. So let's put this in. Okay, something short is simple. Okay, how can I help? Let's do that. Paste that there. Or allow the users to interrupt. Nope, it's the first one. No. Okay, so this is done. So we have everything done for the first part. Now what we want to do is we want to try to create those tools and attach it to the voice agent. So you want to go under the tools section here. Click on tools. And what we want to do is create actual tools that we want to build in Anyden, right? So instead of actually, what we're going to use is actual workflows that I've already built out instead of MCPs. And the reason why I choose to build out these tools as it is mainly because we want to have as much flexibility in terms of what information we're going to collect and what out of these information we're going to use to book the appointments. MCPs are great, although it's not very deterministic as compared to actual workflows that we build out node by node. So you can see examples here that I've already built up previously. So there's a check availability tool which goes through the entire process of actually checking the date, formatting them into the right slots, returning those responses, and if there are no available slots, it's going to check the next few subsequent days, and then it's going to return those as well. So MCPs could do that, although it's not very consistent and it's not reliable as of today. So I actually still recommend building out, if you want it to be very, very reliable, that works most of the time, build out these things from scratch, workflows like that, so that it's always consistent whenever you run these tools. So anyways, what we want to do now is to create these tools. So you want to click on Add Tools. I already previously had one here. So what you want to do is actually just click on Add Webhook Tool. You want to name this, which I already named it previously, but for this case, we're going to name it Check Availability. You want to write a description here. Use this tool to check for calendar availability, right? This would be a post method. Pre-tool speech, you want to put auto, that's fine. Execution mode, immediate, tool call sound, none. Okay, everything else is fine. Now, body parameters is where we need to add these information in to be able to retrieve things like the preferred day, time, and the time zone. So again, this is considering this is a US-based client, there will be multiple different time zones in the entire US. So if this is a local plumbing service business, you could be just stuck to one single time zone. But if you want to build it for a completely nationwide agent, we need to determine the time zone as well. So we're going to do that as well. So if we look into this check availability workflow, you can obviously get all of these workflows in the description, just download it and paste it into your NetApp account. What we want to do is actually, just to briefly go through this workflow, basically we want to retrieve information like their preferred day, time, as well as the time zone. And once we do that, we want to go through these few steps. First, we want to get the current date that's in their time zone. So assuming they are in central time zone, we want to take the current date and time in their specific location. Then we want to set, obviously these are some logic here, we set the exact start date because we want to follow a specific format when we run the API for cal.com. So start date, we want to set a specific format here, and then we add one day, format the end date, which is also the same format, and then we retrieve the available time slots, right? So once we retrieve all of the available time slots here, we want to format all of those time slots and then return those information back to the agent here, right? So you can see this is the current date. Here are some available slots for this preferred date and time from the customer. So we want to do this. So it's very sequential. It follows a certain set of steps to be able to retrieve this information. If it's busy, if there are no available slots here, what it does is it also adds in 3 extra days. So it checks the next 3 days to see if there are any available slots. And then obviously you can change this if you want to check the next 5 days, the next 10 days, depending on how far ahead you allow your calendar to be booked. You can set that here as well, but in this case, we're going to set it as 3 days. And then we want to format the new end date time. We want to get more free slots, which is the same API call essentially, by just setting the new end date. And then formatting those new free slots and then returning this information as well. If it is busy, still don't have any available slots, we want to tell them it's unfortunately we don't have any available slots. And then it will ask the customer again, what's your next preferred date and time, right? That's basically it. Very simple. Nothing too complex here. So that's the idea behind what we want to do. So now the only thing we need to collect is just the day, time, and the time zone. So let's just try to set those things inside the description here. So we need to, so this field will be passed to LLM, describe in detail how to extract this data from the transcript. Okay, actually, what I'm going to do is I will ask ChatGPT to create and add all of this information in. So I'm going to take a quick screenshot here. Ooh. Okay. So I'm going to paste that here. I want you to write all of these information, write the description for the body parameters. In terms of the property, you need 3 things: day, time, and time zone. So all of these will be in string because we want to capture the exact words and phrases spoken from the customer. So just include some examples as well. So for example, the customers say the preferred day could be today, tomorrow, 3rd of December, next Friday, variations of these, right? Very human language required. Obviously, these will all be required. The value type, you could put it as a large language model prompt. Write a quick short description. Keep it maybe just one sentence. Explain how you want to explain examples of how to retrieve this information, like the day. So do that for all three properties: day, time, and time zone. Time zone, for the description in each large language model prompt, I want you to put like a bracket and add in 2 or 3 examples of what you could collect, example strings that you would collect to be passed to this tool. So yeah, show me this entire body parameter so that I can just see if I can just copy and paste it into 11labs. So once I've done that, it should create those things for me. Okay, this is a lot better than what I would have written. So you want to paste that there. Extract the caller's preferred appointment day, preferred time zone exactly as spoken using natural like human language from script without converting or normalizing values. Day, which is a string, that's fine. Put that there. Extract the day or date. This is perfect. So you want to paste that there. And then the next one is the time. You want to put this, put that there. This would be the time. And then you want to add one more property, which is the time zone. Oops, what am I doing? Okay. Okay, so now we need time zone. Okay, this would be different. It should be America/New York format. Okay. I think I'm gonna remove this because I'm afraid it could collect too accurate. So time zone, determine the exact time zone, return should be in valid format. So once you fill those out, what you want to do is also then just add in the URL for your NAN workflow. So go into your workflow here, bring this out here, click on your webhook, go under production URL. You want to just copy this, copy that, and then go back here and paste it here. Then click on add tool. So now you've got the check availability tool. So we can just quickly test this to see if it works. I want to just publish this here. And then obviously this is active now. And then click on review, call agent.
Clearflow Plumbing Co. How can I help you today?
Hey man, can I check availability? I have a problem with my with a plumbing issue here. Can you check for tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
I can help you check availability for an appointment tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon. May I please know your time zone or the city you're calling from? This will help me find the right times for you.
Yeah, I am based in LA, so I would probably prefer to come, if you could come in tomorrow at around 2 p.m.
Thank you for sharing your location and preferred time. I'm checking our availability for tomorrow around 2 in the afternoon in Los Angeles. Please hold on just a moment while I find the best options for you.
Okay. So you can see that it managed to run, so that's fine, so that works. So it ran here, but you see there's an error because we haven't actually set everything up. So I'm just click on debug here, and the information that we're gonna get from that would be like something like this. So we'll get things like the day, the time, and then the time zone, which is perfect, right? So once we have all of this information, we just want to assign them over here. So go back to the body here, time, click on that. We got the time zone, which is here, and then we got the day. So now we assign all of those things. That's fine. So the reason why we want to have it in human language is because we have this chat completion node here, which basically converts their spoken preferred date and time, and then we convert it into a format that we want to use to pass into the API call. So we actually interpret it with relative to the date, to their current time and their time zone. So we provided them with the current, we provide this, the AI with the current date and time in this format here. So it takes into account the time zone, the date, and the actual time itself. And then, so if you see, if I run this again, now it knows that the day provided by the user to check is tomorrow around 2 p.m. This is the current date and time at their location. So relative to that, what is tomorrow 2 p.m., right? So it's always accurate, it's always correct, and then it outputs the actual date for tomorrow, which is, at the time of this recording, 16th of December. And then what it does is it sets that as a start date. It adds 1 day, so it checks the entire day for the 16th, and then it just gets the free slots here through an API call. So now that we know that this works, we can quickly set up a calendar system in Cal.com so we can actually check a real calendar. And to do that, we need two things. We need a Cal.com API key as well as the event type ID. So we can quickly create one right now. So if you go into Cal.com, this is my account here. I have 3 main event types, but you can just ignore that. What you want to do is on the top right, click on new. We want to create a very simple one. We can name it what we call it here. So a general plumbing service call. Get back here. And then this could be a service call meeting. And assuming this lasts for, let's say, 60 minutes. Click on continue. And you got it here. Location, in-person attendee address. Yeah, I think that's basically it. I think for now, what we can do is actually we don't really need to collect the address, obviously, just to keep things simple. Let me just try to go back and check to see what kind of information we need when booking the appointment here. So we'll need things like date, time zone, name, and email. Okay, let's just keep it as that. Let's try not to collect the address because that's going to be an extra step here. I want to keep this video as short as possible, but essentially it's the same thing. But let's just go back here. Check the availability. Okay, so that's fine. In terms of availability here, I just need to change that to a US time zone. That's fine. Limits. So minimum notice would be, okay, let's say 2 hours in advance. That's fine. No buffer time. I think everything else is fine. Advanced settings. Plumbing service call between June and that. Okay. Add to calendar as email, as organizer. Yep. I think everything else seems fine. So we need things like the name, address, location. Yeah, you know what? Let's just keep it as it is. What's this meeting about, etc. Okay, I think that's all. All of this should be good. Save. And that's that. So to collect these two information for checking availability, we need API key as well as the event type ID. So the event type ID is actually this number here. So, okay, that doesn't work. So if you look at the link, the URL up here, these the numbers here 4160075. This is actually the ID for this specific event type. So what you want to do is just copy and paste that here. And then to get the Cal.com API key, you want to go into settings, click on API keys, and then click on add. Create a new API key. I'm going to name this YouTube test, and then click on save. And then you want to copy this. And then go back to your workflow and then just paste the API key there. So once you have these two information here, if I run this entire workflow again, first of all, I'm going to save it. If I run this entire workflow, you can see that it should be able to connect and actually run out all of those things and retrieve the free slots. So it ran for this specific calendar, which I can just try to verify to see if it actually works. So click on preview. What it checked for is the 16th of December. So you go back here, check for the 16th, and your time zone would be America. Okay, Los Angeles. Okay, so this is the time zone. We can see it's 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. Obviously, these are very early mornings, but you can see those are correct. So 6, 7, 8, and 9. And it also checks actually for the 17 as well. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we got the correct slots. And we just want to return that to the agent so the agent knows that for this date we have these times available, and then for this date we have those times. So now that we know that it works, we can just keep it as it is. So this entire workflow works. We can now do that for the book appointment as well. So we're going to go back to the agent here. Okay, let's actually try it again to see if it actually able to retrieve those information correctly.
Clearflow Plumbing Co. How can I help you today?
Hi, I want to book an appointment.
Hello. I can help you.
Yeah,
I can help you
I
schedule.
want to book an appointment for tomorrow, maybe sometime in the morning if that works.
Thank you for letting me know. Can you please tell me your time zone or the city you're calling from? This will help me find the
Yeah.
best available times for you.
I'm based in LA.
Thank you. For tomorrow morning in Los Angeles, we have openings at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Which of these times would you like to choose?
Okay. So that works. That's fine. We know that it's able to retrieve those information, those time slots, and then comes back very quickly. So we know that works. Now we could move on to, you see, it even ran here as well. So now we can actually move on to the booking appointment 2, which is the next one. So let's go into that. So you see we got the tools here, got a preferred day, time range, and now we have this information. So once that's done, we need to book the appointment. So we need, again, these information we already got. We only need these information now. We're going to remove address because I think that's one extra step. Although we can actually just try it again anyways to see if that works. But yeah, just want to keep it as simple as possible. So go to tools, same thing, click on webhook. Okay, that's not add tool, sorry. Webhook, and then this would be book appointment. This is a post request as well. Again, I'm gonna take a screenshot and get chat to do it for me. So I'm gonna put that there, and then for the body parameters, I'm gonna do that as well. Now I want you to write the same thing as well for the book_appointment tool. Write a quick short description for the tool itself, and then write the description for the body parameter as well as all of the properties. You would need date, which is the information that we already collected from the check availability tool. So just use those exact, use those information and any confirmations from the customer. So date, time zone, and then we need to also collect name, which is just a short name or any name that the customer provided with. You can confirm the spelling of it, repeat it back to confirm the spelling. So we got the name. We also need their email address. So collect the email address, obviously include some examples as well inside the description. Repeat it back to see if it's correct. And then we also need address. Yeah, let's just collect address. We also need to collect the address, and then put in an example of an address in the US, in America. So obviously we know what we're expecting. And then obviously repeat that as well so that we get the address correct. Okay, so in the meantime, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add one more variable here. So again, you have all these templates in the description. You can just download it. I'm just gonna put the address here, and then yeah. So by the way, if you're wondering how we're actually able to call these APIs are actually collected, and you can call it from the documentation from cal.com. So if you search up for the cal.com docs, you can see these are where you actually look at what to call and what variables to call for actually booking appointments or calling any endpoints in the documentation, right? So I've already set everything up inside n8n, inside these nodes. So you can just easily set it up, put in any variables that you need, and then that's it. So yeah, the only thing we need to add now is address. So to do that, now we already have the name, the email, the time zone. We just need the address. So address may be a custom field, so we might need to check if there's a proper way of actually writing the address here. So attendee.language. Is there anything that has to do with address? Just search here. Location.type. One of the event type locations instead of passing one object location. It refers to address defined by the organizer. Location.address. Okay. All right, so I think we're going to do it this way. So location.type, which is the attendee address, and then location.address. So it should have an example that's written here. So location type, address, and then, yeah, okay. Let's try to fill that in. How can we test this here? I want to add in the location address as well. Show me the updated code request. Okay, and then now let's go back here. We have everything generated as well. So tool description, go back here, paste it for book appointment. Use this tool after the customer has collected book's appointment, confirm date and time, customer details. Okay, that's great. Extract and pass the confirmed information. Okay, and then we have things like, so similar date, time. For the date, this one would be in the format what format would this be? YYYYMMDD. Because this is the exact date. So change the examples in the description, but everything else seems okay. The time as well, the time would be the exact time, the confirmed time from the customer. So this could be like 2 p.m., 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Follow like the hour, minute formatting. So just pick that, and then it should update those for us. I'm gonna go back. So we have date, we have time zone, name, email, and address. So date, we want to put okay, I mean like okay, date should be like this. this is the proper formatting. Double M, that's fine. Okay, so now we go back here. You can see now it should show us how to add in the location address, which is fine. So just like that, right? I think everything else remains the same. So if you go back to your N8N API call node, which is right here for booking appointment, we have attendee name, address, time zone. So we got address, location, address. So let's do that. Go back here, paste that there, because we also want the location address, and this would be referencing, so we're gonna copy that. We want to reference the address, right? So this is the address that I'm gonna collect from the customer. Basically what happens here is we're gonna take in all of those variables that we're gonna collect from the voice agent here. It's gonna go down these few steps. This is just a set credential node, which is again the same thing, which is the API key as well as the event type ID. We assign those variables properly, so everything would every subsequent node after this would just reference this node here for those variables, and then we format the actual slots into a certain format so that it can actually be passed through to the API calls, and then it runs the book appointment to the API call here, and then if it successfully books, it returns that response to the agent. Otherwise, we can send like an email internally to tell them that someone tried to book an appointment but it didn't work. And that's usually because during the testing phase, we could check availability for dates that's like previously, that's like in the past. So this is usually during the development phase, but when you launch in production, usually we won't get any errors. So once that's done, we obviously need to check if that works, right? The address there, but let's just leave it as it is for now. We'll save it. And then we go back here, we want to fill all of this information inside 11labs. So date, should have updated it now, yep. So this is the date, paste that there. Date, time, use the confirm timing. And then we've got time zone, which is the same as previously, right here. And then we have name. Name would be, okay, extract the customer's name as spoken, confirm spelling by repeating it back if needed. Right there. And then email. Oh, this is not correct. The examples should be the actual email. For example, john.smith@gmail.com, not the spoken way. So let's just try to update that. We've got the email and then we have address. Okay, so paste that there. It's the email and then address. Address is the last one here. Perfect. That is perfect. Very perfect. Okay. So now we have all of this information. Everything should be set as required because we need all of this information. And the reason why we also want to collect the email is so that we could send confirmation emails as well. So once we have all of these things here, we want to click on add to. Oh, you set the URL as well. So go to webhook, click on production URL, copy that, go back here, paste that, add to. Okay, so now we have both the check availability as well as the book appointment tool. We can test it out, right? But first we need to obviously set these credentials as well because we've forgotten to set that. So get the event type ID, post that there, save that, find the API key which was already implemented as well, right here. Set credentials, put that here, and that's it. So we only need to change this and probably assign the variables when we run and test the agent, and everything else should be fine. Format slot start, you don't really need to change anything here. This is all done already. So yeah, what we can do is we can actually just start testing it. Once we test it, we can assign these things accordingly, and then actually run the agent itself and see if it works.
Clearflow Plumbing Co. How can I help you today?
Hey man, I want to book an appointment.
Of course, I can help you schedule a plumbing appointment. What day and time would you prefer for your service?
Could you do tomorrow? I'm based in LA, so any time tomorrow fine. Works for me.
Thank you. For tomorrow in Los Angeles, we have openings at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock in the morning. Which time would you like to choose?
Let's do 8 in the morning.
Great. I have you down for 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. May I have your full name, service address, and email address to complete your booking?
Yeah, so my full name is just John Smith. My email is john@test.com. And my address is 123 Main Street.
Thank you, John. Just to confirm, your name is John Smith. Your email is john@test.com. And your address is 123 Main Street. Is all of that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Got it all right. We can run this.
Your appointment is all set for 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow at 123 Main Street. If you need to make any changes or have more questions, just let me know. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Wait, give me a sec. I might need you to try and run it again one more time because I don't have these information previously assigned. Okay, could you book the appointment for me again?
No problem, John. I can help you book the appointment again. Could you please confirm your full name, service address, and email address one more time so I have everything correct?
It's the same as previously, so John Smith, john@test.com, and then 123 Main Street.
Thank you for confirming. Just to be sure, your name is John Smith. Your email is johnsmithjohn@test.com, and your address is 123 Main Street. Is that all correct before I book your appointment for 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow?
Yes, it's correct.
Your appointment is now confirmed for 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow at 123 Main Street. If you need anything else or want to make changes, just let me know. Thank you for choosing Clearflow Plumbing Co.
Okay, let's see if that went through. So we properly assign all of these information here. It's able to format those slots. You can format it into the right format here. Book appointment, it went to the failed error mode. So let's see what happened here. Booking location with type address not valid for event type with ID. There's a following location type attendee address, and only those types are allowed with booking location. Okay, so it seems to be the address issue. So booking location type with address not valid. Type the address and only these types are allowed to forward. Okay, so what I'm thinking is probably we just have to do this. It's probably just this way, address, instead of that location way of doing it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test to see if it works this way. And then I'm just gonna delete this. Execute step, see if that works. Per branch, attendee property is wrong. Property address should not exist. Let's see. Okay, so let's try to figure out what is the actual variable here. So attendee, attendee.name, attendee.email, attendee.address, location. So it's probably location. Option 2. Okay, so it seems like it's supposed to be type attendee address. So that was a rookie mistake right there. So let's try to go back here. Change this to attendee address and then click on execute step, see if that works. Okay, that works. So success branch, you can see that we are able to actually have these booked here. Okay, so you can see these are all the roadblocks that we get along the way and how we actually solve it. So yeah, now we realize it actually works and everything works pretty fine. So we have all of this information here. We're going to save it. So yeah, just to summarize, basically what we did previously was we added the location type, and instead of attendee address, we just put address, which is obviously not correct. You want to go back to the documentation here, look at it, look at what's the proper way of doing it. So example here is attendee address, which is a very rookie mistake because previously what we did, we just copy pasted it here without actually looking at it, but it's just attendee address. So once you change that there, everything should work. And it would appear here in your calendar system, right? The timing is a bit off because I'm based in Malaysia, so it's a bit different for me. But yeah, my clients are in the US, so that's fine. So now we know that it works, right? It's able to book appointments, it's able to track availability. One thing I like to do is also add like a quick email note as well, which is currently disabled, but this is usually for like the internal information here. So we can send ourselves an internal email if someone tries to book an appointment, and let's say the API call is down and it's not able to actually do that. We want to tell the customer that the appointment is successfully booked, but internally we want to quickly look at it and see what happens here, so at least we know and we are notified when someone actually tries to book an appointment. Obviously increases the perceived value of the agent itself and not being able to make mistakes, but in real life scenarios mistakes do happen in 1-2% of the time. We want to try to capture as many of those mistakes as possible and try to make sure we do it manually and come in whenever there's information like that that's not happening, right? So for now, we're going to disable it, but we can set that up as well if we need to. So yeah, so the voice agent now has access to a check availability tool as well as a book appointment. Now, what we want to add is basically we are mostly done, right? We only need to add things like the transfer call tool that's handling anything that's out of scope. And then we need a knowledge base where it's able to answer FAQs. So we can go back here. If you look inside the system tools, they actually already have those inbuilt tools that we can use immediately. So the first tool we need is obviously an end conversation, because when the conversation is done, we don't need to, the agent has handled everything. We want to end the conversation. So we end the call by just doing this. End the call. You can write a quick description here. Use this tool to end the call. That's it. Save it. So now he has access to that. And then the next thing we want to do is transfer to numbers. So transfer to agent is basically if you have multiple different agents that you build in 11labs and you want to transfer it to multiple different agents, we can use that for maybe like a sales agent, like a billing agent, or different use cases, right? But now what we're looking for and what we're interested in is a transfer to number. So this is it's going to be able to transfer to a number that your human, maybe it's like your office number or something like that, right? So transfer to number. We want to name this call transfer if we could. Apparently not. Okay. Use this tool to transfer the call to a human agent. So can add a rule. Conference, this is a phone number. And the phone number would basically just be the human phone number, right? So put in an example here. In this case, we don't need to put an actual number here, but this is just how you want to set it up. Condition. Again, you don't need to write all of these out yourself. you can just copy, paste it here to chat and ask it to write it for you. So fill in this information for transferring a phone number. You can put a sample phone number here, an American phone number in the similar format in the placeholder there. And then write a quick condition on transferring. This is whenever we have anything that's handling out of scope question, anything that the voice agent isn't able to handle. Offer to transfer the call to a human, and then use this tool to transfer the call. So that's basically it. And so once you're done with that, you just want to click save. But that's basically it. Okay, just copy that, set there. That, paste that. So transfer the call when the call request help for anything outside appointment booking. Okay, that looks fine. So save it. So that's done, right? The only thing is we need to copy this, transfer to number, so that when we go back to the agent flow, you want to change the prompt so that it uses refer it to the correct tool name. So it's not transfer underscore call, it is transfer to number. So yeah, that's basically it, right? You want to click publish. So now we know that that works. I don't really like the code here, so let's just do that. Publish. That's basically it. The only thing left now, because we have these things here, we have the appointment booking. We are just left with a quick knowledge base that we could create so that whenever we ask questions about the knowledge base about the company, it should retrieve these information and then answer those questions. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create a sample knowledge base which we could use and integrate it here so that we can try and test to see if the knowledge actually works. I want you to create a simple knowledge base all in text so that I could, for this sample company, so obviously the name of the company is Clear Flow Plumbing Co. Create a quick knowledge base explaining everything you need to know about this company, their opening hours, etc., what services they offer, and any sample information, because this is just a fictional company. It doesn't have to be too long. Keep it nice and simple so I can just attach it to the voice agent. Okay, so do that and then go back here. So to attach a knowledge base, you want to click at the very top here, you see knowledge base here. Click on that. And then there are a few different ways you can add knowledge bases. So if you click on add document, you can add it either a URL. So this could be the company website. So very simple. If you click on add URL, all you have to do is paste the company website here, and it should be trained on every single information there. It will scrape everything, it will crawl through the entire website, and then whenever you ask a question, it would be able to retrieve information from the website. So if you have a website, this makes things a lot easier. Otherwise, you could just add files. This could be Google, any docs, a PDF about your services, your company. But for the sake of the video, we make it very simple. We can just add text as well, right? So this is company or any FAQ document, right? And then we go back here. So we have all of this information, which seems pretty nice. Okay. I want you to format and put everything inside a markdown section so that it's easy to copy. I want you to remove anything that has to do with the voice agent. This is just a description about the company itself, not about the voice agent. So make it a lot simpler. Actually, I'm going to change this to knowledge base. Company knowledge base. So now you can see it has all of the information in Markdown, which is a lot nicer. We just need to copy this right here, paste that there, and create text. So once that's done, you want to go back here. We already have a description where it explains that it should be able to ask questions and answer questions based on the knowledge base. So you want to quickly search that up to see if it's actually already written in the prompt. Knowledge base. Okay, so answer questions from the knowledge base or transfer calls. Okay, So now that's done, publish that. And we can actually just test it out, right? See if it's actually able to retrieve information correctly.
Clearflow Plumbing, how can I help you today?
Hi, I just want to ask a few quick questions here. What time do you guys open? What are your opening hours?
Thanks for your question. Clearflow Plumbing is open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening, and on Saturday from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. We are closed on Sundays. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's great. What kind of services do you guys offer?
We offer a range of residential plumbing services, including drain cleaning, leaky faucet and pipe repair, toilet repair and replacement, water heater repair and installation, garbage disposal repair, pipe inspections, and general plumbing maintenance.
Okay, so that works fine. Yeah, so that's basically it. Maybe we could also test the transfer call function, although we're not actually able to do that through a web call. You have to attach it to a phone number, and then we're able to actually test it out and then see if it's actually transferring the calls. But otherwise, it should work fine. Everything else is fine. Some of the quick tips that I'd recommend when you actually want to launch this for production: add a few voices as well. Add some additional voices, mainly because sometimes the voices that you pick as the primary voice, it may go down occasionally, or if that doesn't work, sometimes you want to have to fall back and have a few voices in addition to that. But also what you could also do is have it such that it's able to actually switch voices in between. That's one feature that 11labs has done as well. So you can actually do that as well, and then maybe add in some of these things here just to kind of format and refine the way it speaks in the way you want it to speak. Obviously, it depends on your accent as well. Can add in some pronunciation stuff, optimize these things here, text-to-speech outputs. These things you can set as well. Languages, if you want it to be a multilingual agent, add in certain languages that you need, whether it's English, Spanish, and in German, Italian. All of the languages that you want this agent to speak, you can just select them here. Then knowledge bases, that's fine. You already have everything here. Analysis, this is just all of the the calls that you've done. Tools, which we already have. So we have the end conversation, transfer to number, check availability, book appointment. Test is just how you want to test the agent. Widgets, if you want to attach this into your company website, instead of actually having it to, maybe you can have it on the call itself to a phone number, or you can have it as a widget, which looks something like this at the bottom. You can actually just refine it, change the way it looks, and it's very customizable. So that's fine. And then one last thing is you could also set like a post-call analysis. So there's this thing called post-call webhook. The way it works is basically every time after a call is done, it's able to send a webhook to a workflow which you can create in n8n. And what you want to do is you can actually analyze every single call that's been done. How did the call? What's the call outcome? Did they book in an appointment? Did they not? You could rate the call on a scale of maybe like 1 to 10 on how high intent the buyer is, the lead is on the call, or like a quick summary, transcript, recordings, everything. All of that could be integrated here, which you can capture after every single call. And if you have a CRM that you want to include as well, or like a Google Sheet, you could store all of this information inside the database, which you can then come back and look. So you can track every single call and not miss a single one. So that's a lot better. That's really good. All you have to do is click on select webhook. I already created one previously, but just click on create a new webhook, add a name, add the URL, and then click on create. You'll realize that there are actually two different things here in 11labs. You can create a transcript event, and you can create an audio event. One more thing is also the call initiation failures, which I don't really use, but you could add in as well. But basically these two is transcript is basically sending everything about the transcript. You understand what happened during the call. Audio, it sends the actual link to the audio itself, so you can download and listen back to the conversation that is had. So yeah, that's basically it. We're done for today. That's actually the entire build. Hopefully this is not too long, like an hour-long build. But yeah, all of this information, you can collect it. Just download it all in the description. It's all free. Download it, sell it, use it, for whatever you want. Obviously, you can set all these up yourself in your own Cal.com accounts. Yeah. Prompts as well. Yeah, you can get the prompts. Look into all these things if you need to. But that's basically it. I hope this is very helpful. I hope it's not too boring. I want to leave all of these raw footages inside so you can see all of the roadblocks that I hit and how I'm actually able to solve them, how we're going to build out this entire agent, the best practices. Again, the problem, you have to always go through it, refine it, test it yourself to see if it works. If it doesn't work, go back into it, look at it, go back into ChatGPT, refine it, This is a very long process, but if you want to launch a really good production level agent, you need to go through this entire process and do a testing phase. Once you actually launch this agent and goes into production, when it's actually taking a lot of calls every single day, there will be instances where the voice agent would fail, not because you didn't build it correctly, but because you may not have handled that certain intent or certain interaction or scenario where you would have thought it would have turned out to be. So those are those things where we have an entire process of the refinement. We have a whole process of refining the agent, analyzing each call, where it went wrong, how to improve it, what are the changes you need to make inside the prompt itself. But it's a whole different process. If you want another video on that, I would love to. I'd be happy to make a video on how to refine those stuff. But other than that, that's basically it. I hope it helps. I guess I'll see you in the next video.